parents. Greetings from Little Thinkers. We've had a great start to the year, and we're really happy to see how the children have settled in, and they're really enjoying the calls. So there's a couple of things I wanted to highlight to you before we go forward with the rest of the year. Few important points that I needed you all to understand. One of the biggest things that I would say is to not rush into anything. As much as we want our children to learn really fast and pick up a lot of things, it's very important that we have a strong base for our children, a strong foundation. So for that, we can't be jumping into things. We need to take them slow. We need to be able to give the children what they need to learn next when they are ready for it. So, for example, we can't be just suddenly expecting them to start learning up to 20 or 30 in terms of numbers. We have to take it slow. It can be just starting to learn only up to number 3, then going on to 4, 5, and so on and so forth. But the idea is to not rush into anything and expect them to, learn it overnight, because we want them to learn long term. We are not ready to just make them learn for tomorrow or just for the next week. So, to break it down, when I talk about numbers, now, when you see numbers, you'll all be working with the number rods. You must have seen that material already. Now, when we do numbers in Montessori, we first teach them how to count only. So, they are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, which most children, yes, by heart they know how to say it. But the idea to be able to count each different part on that rod, and to understand when you see the number 1 is this small, number 10 is that big in your paper strips. Our actual rods are way bigger than that. But it's this much to this much. So understanding how one number to the other keeps growing up in size and becoming bigger. So they're getting an indirect understanding of how numbers actually move in terms of size. After they have learned the counting. Now again, when you're doing counting, we don't want to make them count up to 10 in one day. It's not needed. We ideally just take three numbers and move. So when you feel they're comfortable, if they know, yes, very good. If they do not know, let's just do 1, 2, 3. Once they know 1, 2, 3 perfectly, then we move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. We keep going further. So, like I said, we don't want to achieve everything in a day or a week. Give them their time, let them go, and trust me, if you take things slow now, later on it just helps them to learn faster. Secondly, once the numbers are learnt and they are counting, only then we bring in the symbols, which is the number 1, the number 3, the number 5, how they look. So that comes after they have learned how to count. When we do that also, we never do it in order. You will never see the teachers teaching or a Montessori teacher telling you, let's learn 1, 2 and 3 today of how they look. No, it will always be different assorted numbers. Because again, we are not trying to let them rote learn it. We are trying to be able to identify. So at any given point of time, you show them 5. They don't have to say 1, 2, 3, 4 and then only get to 5. They can see 5 and recognize 5. Alright. Once they have learned only numbers counting, then they've learned the symbols, then the third step we bring it together, where they will count the rods and then they will put the numbers. So they are counting, for example, a rod of 3. 1, 2, 3 they've counted. They will find, oh, this is number 3, I need to put it here, to understand the figure as well as the abstract and the solid of it basically. So they're understanding the counting and they're understanding the symbol and putting it together. And then of course more activities follow to revise this till we move to 11 to 20. Very simply put, this is your numbers. Coming to alphabets. Alphabets is very sensitive. We call them sounds. We don't call them alphabets because we teach children the phonetic sounds of it. Now, when I say phonetic, it is simply instead of A, we will teach the child A. Instead of B, we will teach the child B. Now, few things that you keep in mind in this is that we will give you supporting material so you understand the sounds. Because unfortunately, with the current situation, children are not with us every day. So we can do these kind of things with them once a week, twice a week, but you are going to be ending up doing it with them more. Which is why we will give you supporting, because we do not want that we are teaching them a sound, you are teaching them an alphabet, which is just going to create a lot of confusion. So we'll give you things with them, but again, it has to be going in its time. So again, alphabets are like numbers are not done in order. We don't teach them A, B, K, D. No. Just like how you normally say ABCD, no, it will be done at random, because again, as per the understanding, the sounds, what gets used more often, there's a lot of study and research put behind it, but it goes in a specific order and they're given words. So again, like I said, when you're getting supporting material, you understand how that kind of activity moves. I won't go into the detail of how the activity is. Now for your children, before we come to the actual symbol of what the alphabets look like we did in numbers where you counted the rods first and then the symbols came in. Similarly, over here, before the actual looks of your A, B, C, D come into picture, they're learning only the sound of it. So this comes through, you notice the teachers must have already started something called an I Spy game for you, where you go I Spy with my little eye, something that begins with nose. So nose. So to understand that beginning sound of alright. So this is what it's done. So you don't feel that, oh, when are the children going to learn alphabets or sounds of it? They have already started. It's a pre-work that goes on. Once they get a hang of this, and once this base has become strong, we bring in the symbols. Moving on to writing. Now we are not going into writing in the sense is being a Montessori school. We don't push children into writing. We don't force them into writing. Children should ideally not start writing before 6 years of age till they are ready themselves. But our schools require it. We require our children to learn it. However, at the same time, we are not forcing them. We are building them. So you may have the activities on your planner that you are feeling are like, okay, why are we doing such an activity? For example, you have something called opening closing bottles where the children work. You have something called transferring where they were transferring from one bowl to the other. Now there is objectives behind each of these. There are aims behind each of these. Don't look at any activity as unnecessary. When you are doing opening closing bottles, the children are developing their wrist movements. They are developing their finger movements. So when they are opening and closing a bottle, the wrist is moving. Similarly, when that's a bigger one, smaller one, your wrist as well as your fingers. So being able to grasp and hold. When they are transferring, moving from one bowl to another. So apart from the fine motor movements that we are developing, there's hand-eye coordination going on, there's concentration being developed, there's independence being developed. So there's a lot going on, and this is associated with writing. These all become your pre-writing skills. Because the biggest part of writing is not being able to write 1, 2, 3, 4, ABCD. It's being able to hold the pencil correctly, the pen correctly, and to have the correct movements. Then writing becomes an easy task. So at the moment, no pencils. At the moment, we use chalks, we scribble, we use crayons, we scribble. At this age of the children, this is all they need to do. Don't be in a rush for teaching standing line, sleeping line. None of that is needed. We'll do shapes. We will get there. So again, I repeat over and over again, do not rush them. Moving on to other things. We learn birds, we learn animals, we learn fruits, we learn vegetables, a lot of it. And then it goes further. So when, for example, animals, they will go into learning, water animals, the difference between who's in water, who's on land, understanding all of that. When we are teaching names of anything, so if the teacher works, but when even you're working with the children, correct names. We don't say doggy, we say dog. We don't say rhino, we say rhinoceros. So we are giving them correct names because this is something they learn and they stick with it. Okay. Stories and rhymes, something that we have to keep doing. So rhymes, keep doing as much as you can. Stories also, the ones the school sends you, again, do not feel that last planner had the same stories, this planner has the same stories. No, the idea is not to have different stories. The idea is to teach the words. The idea is to teach sentence formation, to understand rhyming words. So even if you read one story every day for the next 2 months, it is fine as long as they pick up. At the end of a month or at the end of month and a half, if you come and tell me, oh, my child learned this whole story and now says it by heart, I will say that's superb, that is an achievement, because now they have the confidence to talk, they've built the sentences properly and they've understood how to use that vocabulary. Alright, so another important point is independence. They are working fantastically. We want to move them towards independence. We want to move them towards a path where they sit on their own and work. So we will continue to work with you. At the moment, we still need you to sit by them because they are smaller. But we want to move them to be able to sit on their own and learn. And that being developed. Which will take its own path. Again, we are not rushing. We are in a situation where it's a very strange situation for children. They hear words, they've heard coronavirus, they've heard COVID, they don't know how to handle it. We've suddenly stopped letting them go out. The minute they were allowed to go to the park, it started raining and they can't go out. So they're already very stressed. There's already a lot of, subconscious confusion happening in their mind, and we don't add to it. through our learning, through our education, through this routine, we are trying to make them happy and bring a change about for them. So let's work together. Let's keep in mind we are in a Montessori school, we are not in a traditional school, so we don't learn things by heart. We are learning concepts, we are building stronger foundations, and that is what is very, very, very important, building the base. When you plant something, you don't get a tree overnight. You don't get a 3-footed plant in a month's time. No, it takes time. It needs water, it needs sunlight, it needs care. Your children are exactly the same. Don't expect results overnight. Don't push them too fast. Give it its time. They will grow at their own path, at their own pace. They will go to school tomorrow where there are many children in a classroom, where the children can't give them individual attention. They will all have to learn one curriculum. They will not have a curriculum moving at their own pace. So we need to make them strong enough to have a good base, that they can handle that later on, that they can deal with it, and they enjoy learning already. So they're going in with this strong base, they're going in with fun of learning. The rest of it will be taken off very well for them. So we are available for you. If there's any confusion, if you need any help on the planner, ping one of us, tell the teacher on the call. You have my number, you can give me a call for anything. We are all there to back you up, and we are doing this together. So as much as we need your support, as much as we are trying to give you ours. And yes, till then, stay safe, happy learning, and thank you.